Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Washington, Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news, so fans, buckle up, because what I'm about to tell you could be one of the biggest moves in the NFC this season. There's a lot of chatter swirling around a potential blockbuster trade that could reshape the landscape of the division and honestly, shake up the entire NFL's playoff picture. We're talking about the possibility of Ja'Marr Chase, the explosive wide receiver from the Cincinnati Bengals, heading to the Washington Commanders, and the rumors are gaining serious traction. Now I know what you're thinking. Why would Cincinnati trade Chase? Well, let's dive into the details because this isn't just some idle speculation. It's a scenario that could turn into reality, and it's got the potential to fire up the Commanders' offense in a way we haven't seen in years. First, let's set the scene. The Bengals, sitting at a disappointing 3-7 record, are clearly in a rebuild mode. They've been struggling on offense, especially with their offensive line, which has surrendered a staggering 28 sacks so far this season. Cincinnati is also facing some financial constraints, with about $10 million in cap space after extensions for players like T. Higgins and some of their offensive linemen. The team's defense isn't doing much to help their cause either, allowing an average of 33. 4 points per game, one of the worst in the league. It's understandable that they're looking to shake things up, and the idea of trading Chase might be their way to do it. They could use the cap space to bolster their offensive line or focus on other areas, while also acquiring draft capital to rebuild their roster. Now, why would the Commanders be interested? Well, if you've been watching Washington's offense this season, you know they're desperately seeking a game-changing playmaker on the outside. They're currently averaging just over 21 points per game, and their pass game has been underwhelming, with the wide receivers struggling to create separation and rack up big yardage. Adding a player like Chase could be a game-changer, especially given his incredible production this year. Chase has been one of the league's most electric receivers in 2025, catching 79 passes for 861 yards and 5 touchdowns in just 10 games. That's an average of 86. 1 yards per game, top of the league. He's a true route runner, with a knack for creating big plays, averaging 4.2 yards after catch per reception and boasting a PFF grade of 91. 2. His ability to get open, separating by around 2 yards per route, makes him an ideal target for Sam Howell and the Commanders' offense. But Chase's talent isn't just about the numbers. This guy is a true game breaker with the speed to burn defenses, running a blazing 34-second 40-yard dash, and the hands to make tough catches with a drop rate of just 2%. His career stats speak volumes. Over 200 yards and 40 touchdowns in just a bit over 3 seasons, with an average of 9 yards per target. Even after a minor ankle injury early in the season, he bounced back quickly, posting a 149-yard game in Week 4, proving his resilience and explosiveness. Chase is a player who can turn a short pass into a long touchdown, and his big play ability, over 15 plays of more than 20 yards this year, is exactly what Washington needs to stretch defenses and open up the entire offense. Now, let's look at the mechanics of this potential trade. The Bengals, in their current state, might be willing to part with Chase for a first-round pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. That's a significant price, but considering their dire need for cap space and the chance to rebuild around younger players, it makes sense. The trade would also free up around $8 million in cap space for Cincinnati, which they could use to invest in their offensive line or other key areas. For Washington, acquiring Chase would be a huge boost, not just for the current season but for the future. With Chase in the fold, the Commanders could project an additional 200 receiving yards in 2026, and an increase of around 20% in EPA per pass attempt, an enormous upgrade for their aerial attack. And let's not forget the division implications. The NFC East is a fiercely competitive division, with the Eagles and Cowboys already boasting strong offenses. Adding Chase to Washington's arsenal could tip the scales in their favor, especially considering their need for a reliable, explosive weapon. If Chase can replicate or improve upon his 2025 numbers, imagine him with Howell's arm and the offensive line's protection. He could turn Washington's offense into one of the most dangerous units in the league. This would be a major factor in their pursuit of a playoff spot, and if they make the playoffs, Chase could be the X factor that propels them deep into the postseason. Now, what about the impact on the Bengals? Well, they're in a bit of a purgatory right now, trying to figure out whether to rebuild or retool. Their defense, which is allowing an average of 26, 9 points per game, is clearly struggling and giving up 33. 4 points per game is unsustainable. Trading Chase might be seen as a move to reset their roster and focus on their future, especially since they're facing a tough schedule ahead. They've also been hit by injuries and inconsistent play, making it harder for them to stay competitive. Plus, with the ongoing concern over their offensive line, which has surrendered 28 sacks so far, Cincinnati might be better off focusing on protecting their young quarterbacks and building around their draft picks. From a strategic perspective, this trade would be a win-win for Washington. It's not just about acquiring a talented receiver, it's about making a statement. It says that the Commanders are serious about contending and that they're willing to make bold moves to elevate the team. Chase's presence would lift the entire offense, giving Howell a true #1 target who can make the difficult catches in tight coverage and turn short completions into explosive plays. It's the kind of move that energizes a locker room, excites fans, and could even put the Commanders back into the Super Bowl conversation. Looking at the bigger picture, this move could have ripple effects across the league. The odds of Washington winning the Super Bowl could jump significantly, initially from +10-0 to around +3-0 if they land Chase. That kind of boost in odds reflects the impact a player like him can have. Chase, as a true X factor in the playoffs, could help Washington exploit defenses, especially in high-stakes matchups against division rivals like the Eagles or Cowboys. His ability to stretch the field and generate chunk plays would force defenses to respect the deep ball, opening up opportunities for other receivers and the run game. Of course, all of this hinges on whether Cincinnati is willing to part ways with Chase, and whether Washington is prepared to meet the Bengals' asking price. But given the current state of both teams, it's a scenario that makes a lot of sense. The Bengals get cap relief and draft capital, and the Commanders get a proven elite receiver who can be the centerpiece of their offense for years to come. It's a bold move, but one that could define the future of both franchises. And now, Washington Commanders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you think Chase will be wearing the burgundy and gold soon? Would this move push Washington over the edge and into Super Bowl contention? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the future of the Commanders. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Washington Commanders news. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Washington Commanders news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal.